Let go for cereals news. How awful was rice pledging, really? According to Bangkok Post, the verdict from the Supreme Court is out today on whether former Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra is guilty for her handling of the contentious rice pledging scheme, one that officials say cost taxpayers more than 500 billion baht. Some casual observers and her supporters argue that her actions to alleviate farmers' plight was neither wrong nor a crime. Is the rice pledging scheme really a disaster? According to Mr. Priti Yathorn, former Deputy Prime Minister, I once calculated financial damages incurred from the rice pledging scheme for the first 2 years of the programs, the 2011-12 and the 2012-13 harvest years, based on the pledging price, the actual operating costs and the rice volume sales disclosed by the Commerce Minister reaching 455 billion baht. Based on my calculations, the Yingluck government spent 772 billion baht for pledging 27 million tons of milled rice, of which 633 billion was paid to rice farmers and the remaining 89 billion for operating costs in the 2-year span. The government then bought rice at an average cost of 28,600 baht per ton but sold it at an average price of 11,700 baht per ton based on the 12 million tons of rice produced in the 2011-12 harvest season sold by the Commerce Ministry, creating a loss of 201.6 million baht. Update news: Bangladesh tenders to buy 50,000 tons of rice. Bangladesh's state grains buyer on Wednesday issued an international tender to import 50,000 tons of parboiled rice from any origin as part of an effort to hold down domestic prices, an official said. The last date for submission of bids is March 22 and shipment must take place within 60 days of contract signing, the official said. Bidders may offer a minimum quantity of 10,000 tons on a cost and freight, or CNF, basis. Bangladesh, the world's fourth biggest rice producer, plans to import 300,000 tons of rice in the current fiscal year through June. Market sources said it could be part of a government move to build food reserves after failing to buy enough rice locally, despite good crops and healthy levels of stocks. Bangladesh is buying 25,000 tons of white rice at $395 per ton from the Singapore-based Indosino Trade Pte Ltd in an international tender. At that time, the government also started open market sales of rice in the capital and adjoining districts to tame food inflation, which shot up 9.50% in December from a year earlier after a rise of 7.84% in November. The South Asian country produces around 30 million tons of rice, normally enough to feed its 150 million people. But it also often requires imports to cope with shortages due to natural calamities such as floods and droughts. Continue with the fluctuation of rice prices. According to Reuters, prices drop in major exporters on weak demand. Bangkok, Reuters, rice prices dropped this week in Thailand, Vietnam, and India due to weak demand for the staple, traders said on Thursday. Thai benchmark 5% broken rice was quoted at $370 to $375 a ton, free on board, FOB, Bangkok, down from $375 to $377 a ton last week. The fall in prices can be attributed to the release of new crops. Export market demand is currently at a low level, perhaps due to buyers waiting to see whether a further slump in prices will occur or not, said a Bangkok-based trader. Prices in Thailand are expected to fall next week and remain relatively stable until the end of October, according to rice traders. Vietnam benchmark 5% broken rice RIVNBKN 5P1 tightened slightly to $385 to $390 a ton this week, FOB Saigon, from $385 to $395 last week. This drop has occurred as fresh demand was scarce after harvesting ended for the summer-autumn crops. The market has been quiet on low demand. Prices have declined in Thailand, so Vietnam's prices also went down, a trader in Ho Chi Minh City said. Thailand and Vietnam are the world's second and third biggest rice exporters. In India, the world's biggest rice exporter, 5% broken parboiled rice prices fell by $3 per ton to $400 to $403 per ton. Weak demand is the result of a strong rupee which dents export margins. We are outpriced. Buyers are asking for less than $400 per ton, which is not possible due to strong rupee, said an exporter based in Kakinada in the southern state of Andhra Pradesh. Meanwhile, Bangladesh is set to buy 250,000 tons of white rice at $453 a ton from Cambodia in a government-to-government deal, officials said. It had earlier imported 200,000 tons of white rice at $430 a ton and 50,000 tons of parboiled rice at $470 a ton from Vietnam in a state-to-state deal at rates much higher than in tenders.